Welcome to the Business Spotlight podcast. My name is Kay Cote, and I am your host on today's episode. Today, I have Oscar Torres, founder and CEO of Tower Rock Oil and Gas, as my guest. We're going to be talking about his business, his journey to business ownership, best practices that he's learned along the way, and maybe some challenges that he's faced as well to give you that inside look to what it's like to run and operate a business. If this is your first time on our channel, be sure to like and subscribe to get notifications when we drop episodes like this. Welcome, Oscar. It's so great to have you on the show today. Thanks for being here.
Thanks for having me, Kay. It's great to be on here. Looking forward to having a great conversation.
Yes, same here. Before we get into questions, I'd love to share a little bit about you. So feel free to give a quick brief of who you are.
Great. As you mentioned, Oscar Torres, Tower Rock Oil and Gas. I was originally from Guadalajara, Mexico. Uh, Parents immigrated here with us when I was 7 years old. Was fortunate enough to have great schooling and great upbringing in the Houston area, and made my way over to University of Texas at Austin. Graduated petroleum engineering, and started my career in the oil and gas space, specifically in the minerals and royalty space, right out of college and right here in Austin. So been very fortunate to have made a career here in Austin, and I love it. It's home.
Ah, that's incredible. Love UT. That is awesome. And so did you dive right into your business or did you work for a company out of college? Like, what's that look like?
I had a couple of internships with a couple of the majors while I was in school pursuing my degree. And when I graduated, um, it's kind of a long story, but the long and short of it, I was going to work with one of the majors out in Midland, Texas, and instead was recruited by a small startup here in town and helped me kick off my career. I ended up with them for 13 years. So specifically in the minerals and royalty space, which is kind of a niche business, and it's been great ever since.
Oh, that's awesome, especially when you find that, especially for 13 years of having that immersive experience in the industry as well. So what happened after that 13 years? Did you decide to launch? How does that look?
Yeah, it's an interesting story with a lot of twists and turns. Again, what I didn't mention was that they had just started the company when they hired me. So it was very, very interesting to be a part of a essentially a startup. There was only four of us, the two principals, and then one other person and me, an administrative executive person in the office, and we were able to just grow it all together from scratch. It was pretty interesting. So I did that for several years. Again, I was there for 13 years, the last five of which I was president, and just got to see all the ins and outs, and went through a lot of commodity pricing cycles. We saw $130 oil along the way. We saw $45 oil along the way, and we were able to capitalize on all the opportunities, every opportunity we could in that span, until I left in 2013 to seek my own opportunity, and founded Tower Rock. Torres means towers in Spanish, and tower is just a derivative of that. So Tower Rock Oil and Gas, we founded it. My co-founder and I founded it in 2015.
Okay, I'm gonna write that down for that date. That's really cool.
2014, sorry, 2014.
Okay, awesome. I love to hear origin like name stories too. So thank you for sharing that. I think the branding is such a great way to, build a business on. So thank you for
Yeah.
sharing about that. Now let's kind of look at, the last few years in business as as you were growing, as many business, I'd say all business owners experience challenges on the way on that path. What is something you were challenged with in your business so far that you overcame, and how did you do it?
Well, I think many business owners that were around in 2019 and 2020 saw a lot of different things happening there that presented challenges. for us specifically, yeah, well, we were raising our third fund, and we were hit with a double black swan event that we call what we call a double black swan event at the time. We had an oil pricing war going on in the Middle East, and then we had COVID disrupting supply. So we saw negative oil. A lot of people might remember negative oil. How do you get negative oil, right? Um, but the beauty of it all is because we're in the mineral and royalty space, and we don't have any capital expenditures associated with our assets. We're still in the positive. The negative element of it is that there was a lot of panic in the industry, and we were in the middle of raising a fund, and we spend it as we raise it, and so we'd already spent $7 million leading up to that disruptive event, and it was tough to continue to raise money in that environment because we couldn't convince people that we hadn't squandered $7 million that those assets hadn't gone away. So it's quite the challenge to try to educate people and exactly how those things work and why there was a lot of value still there, if not all 100% of it, and that it was really a great opportunity to kind of to go out and buy. We actually ended up getting creative. We couldn't raise any more money, but we did have assets. So we actually ended up selling into that market, which sounds a little counterintuitive, but we sold into a retail market, which pays a premium above wholesale and organic markets. And we just redeployed that capital. So we actually used the capital that we raised from selling and just increased the value of the assets and the overall portfolios that we own. I was really proud of us in that moment, again, just because there was a lot of panic in the industry. There was a lot of things we can't control, and that is kind of a mantra of mine specifically, but certainly within our employees and our team. Control what you can control. I can't control the markets, but I can certainly control how I react and how we can capitalize on an opportunity. And that's what we did.
Wow, that's incredible and like ingenious in a way because you were able to change the game by just looking at things differently. And like
Yeah,
that perspective shift really like was able to pull you through that. That time was so challenging on many businesses. So that's a really incredible story.
it was. I was. Thank you.
Mhm. And so now looking at your business as it is today, I'd like to dive into a little bit about your team. First of all, learn about your team. And so what does your team look like today? How many team members do you have? And what are some of the roles?
We have uh, we have an amazing team. I'm very proud of the team that we built. It's there's a lot of trial and error when you're hiring and you're putting together a cohesive group of folks that can work well and that have buy-in and all of that. So we've been through several iterations over the years, and right now we've got one that we're very proud of. We have 7 full-time W-2 employees. We have a few part-time folks, and then we have a couple of overseas folks that do some administrative work. But the ones here in the office are part-time remote, part-time in the office, which we're very flexible with. They buy into the culture of what we build here, which is how can we help, and that's kind of it is a very much a mantra. We start with how can we help, and that applies to each other. How do we back each other up? How can we help each other? What can we do to make sure that each individual is accomplishing their goals, individual goals, and that we're all working together to accomplish the company goals. And then we'll see how each other fits into that space of how can I help you? How can we help each other? And then that translates to our clients and to our investors and all that too. So how can we help? But yeah, our team does everything from running errands, buying groceries for the team to underwriting and handicapping opportunities and reaching out to the customers. So we've got a great team, and it's not been easy to get here, but we are certainly very proud of it.
Oh, wow. That's incredible too, to hear about the team and especially when you build a well a well-oiled machine, and I can pun intend on that too.
I like it. Well played.
Yeah, so that's incredible. Now, switching from your team to your customer, thinking about your customer in this next question, how would I know, like if I walked through your doors or gave you a call, looked at your website, how would I know I would be an ideal customer for you?
Yeah, well, I think from a customer, it's interesting. What do we cater to, right? We cater to clients that have mineral rights and royalties to sell. We also cater to investors, right? We have limited partners that are looking for exposure to our space. And then we also have folks that we ultimately sell to. So we've got kind of different folks that we are working with. But I'd say first and foremost is the client base, customer base that we're looking for, the people that are selling. And we usually don't approach it from hey, what do you have to sell to me perspective. And I think that helps us a lot. We just say, hey, how can we help you? How can
Mm,
we help you? And I alluded to this earlier, but it is very, very true. Um, I'd say the majority of the people that reach out to us, we don't end up transacting with, right? But I'd say the vast majority of them end up getting something out of it, right? How do we help you understand the asset? Did you inherit the asset? You don't really know what you own. You're trying to just wrap your head around what it is that your parents or your grandparents have left you. um, let's help you. Let's help you with that. Let's see how we can educate you on the asset class. How we educate you specifically to your asset, where it is, what kind of activity from an oil and gas perspective you can expect. What are the downsides to keeping it? What is the upside to selling it? Those types of things. And then also, how do we evaluate it? How do we value your asset? Because the way we value it may be a little different than somebody else, but in the end, everybody puts a value on something in their own unique way, and sometimes that's sentimental value too for the client. So that's generally how we do it. So with people, if somebody's trying to figure out whether they want to work with us or not, generally if you're looking for the absolute best price possible whatsoever, we may not be the right fit for you. Maybe we are. Maybe I can't guarantee that. But what I can guarantee is that we're going to be up front with you. We're going to be transparent. We're going to help you understand it. We're going to help you understand our viewpoint. And if we can transact in the end, great. And if not, that's okay too. But I hope we were constructive along the way.
it sounds like there's a real value add, like especially when I love that motto, by the way, like how can we help you?
Yeah,
That's really cool.
yeah, yeah. I mean, again, there's a constructive element of it when it's all said and done. And not everybody approaches it that way. Not everybody looks at it that way with us. But if we can be quick, efficient, transparent, and constructive, then let's have a conversation.
Definitely. Now, looking at your clients that you're working with, how are you marketing yourself in the industry? What are some ways that you're reaching your clients?
Um, Most of it, honestly, is word of mouth. Most of it is word of mouth. There's a lot of we do some direct mail. We do mail to the mineral ownership in several states is public information, the state of Texas in particular. So we're able to market ourselves in that way. And networking events, and the conferences, social media, all of those things are all crucial. Um, we do have an online presence that caters to all the things that I was just explaining, and we get a lot of reviews, and we make sure we publicize all of those. So a lot of different ways, but most of it, the vast majority of it is word of mouth.
That's a powerful one. Yeah, referrals are huge, I'm sure, especially with what you're doing.
Yeah.
And now looking at kind of diving into like the internal of your team and I'd love to learn your why behind the business. Like, why did you start this company? What inspired you? And I'd love to hear that journey.
Well, I mentioned that I was with my previous company, Royalty Clearinghouse. The two founders and I were friends, and we became friends. We became very close. They were like older brothers. And I was able I was blessed to be a part of that process from start to finish. Not finished, they're still going, but from start to by the time I left, being president there. And I really enjoyed all of that. I enjoyed building something that we could all be proud of. Um, I did see the industry kind of shifting in a different direction by the time 2013 came around. I'd been president for 5 years at that point, and I really felt that the industry was shifting in a direction that was different from what would from the approach that we were still taking. Um, and I felt like it was a good time to go explore that. Um, the principals were a little bit more conservative in nature, understandably so. They built something amazing. They were very proud of what they had built, what we had built together, and I wanted to take it a different direction, and so that's really why Tower Rock was founded. And it did start with you mentioned the marketing element of it, or the naming, a minute ago, and that was one of the things I kind of started with. I was like, how do I make sure that our brand represents what we need and what we want to do? And we wanted to represent strength, and we wanted some history behind it, and some there was a sentiment, obviously, with it being tied to my name. And we tested it. We actually tested it. We went out and tested various names with different people to see what would stick. A lot of cool things came out of that departure from my previous company, and proud of where we are now as a result.
Oh, that's incredible. And looking now forward towards the future of where you want to take your company, where do you see yourself going in the next 3 to 5 years?
We want to continue to expand, buy bigger assets, buy more of them, do it more quickly. I would love to get our team. They already participate in the upside, participate in the equity of the company in some ways, but I want to continue to see them grow personally and within the business, and want to see them have more responsibility, more ownership in what we're doing on a day-to-day basis, and have that translate into their family's future and the building of their own wealth, and the successes, the way that they define success, whether that be that they get to spend more time with their families later in life, or they get to do more cool things with them because they're making more money, whatever that may look like. Really want that to be a part of what we do. And along the way, we will make money for investors and help clients achieve their goals by selling to us. A lot of good things can happen from our success, and so looking forward to expanding on that in the next 3 or 5 years. Which again it starts with buying more, evaluating more assets, and cranking through more capital in a smart way. Obviously, we're not spending just to spend, but investing wisely in bigger packages.
Definitely. Well, those are some great goals. I love hearing about where you want to take the company in the next few years. And now I want to touch on a challenge you're like if you're currently facing within your company, and how are you working through that? Again, when we talked about a past one, is there anything currently that's challenging as you're in this growth period?
Well, raising capital is always a challenge. We are currently the commodity markets are taking a hit. Specifically, oil is taking a hit, which again presents an opportunity to go out and raise capital. I The challenge for me is with raising money, because I'm not the kind of person that goes out and is constantly working the phones and asking people, hey, are you interested? Are you interested? Do you want to invest? Do you want to invest? It's not who I am. I'm more of a, hey, let's work together if we can, and let work go with me on this journey to make some money together. But I'm not going to harass you for that capital. So
Mhm.
that's always a challenge for me, is getting that capital to come in. But what we're doing with that is surrounding ourselves with professionals that can do it. Finding partnerships with folks that's what they do. That's what they do all day. They go out and then make these phone calls, and they raise capital from folks, and teaming up with them, finding the right partnership is a challenge right now, to accomplish the goals that we're setting for ourselves. So I'd say that's our biggest challenge right now, and that will shift at some point, I'm sure, but and that's okay. We'll be ready for it. It's like kind of like I said earlier, control what you can control. And right now, what I can control is surrounding myself with folks that can help us accomplish our goals.
Definitely. That is a golden nugget of the conversation here is like really just focusing on what you can control and like surrounding yourself with the right people that can help you get to those goals. That's huge. This has been such a fun conversation so far. Now I want to dive into our rapid fire Q&A where I
All
ask you
right.
4 questions and you answer very top of mind.
Okay. Sounds good.
All right, Oscar. Question number 1 is what is the key to success for you?
Success. What is the key to success? Such a loaded question in so many ways. Again, because how I define success might not be how others do it. But the key to success for me is how have I impacted, influenced, and or been constructive in people's lives. You know, how many people have I been able to, either personally or via my business, or via some of the charitable stuff that we're doing. Um, how do we change? How many people's lives have we impacted or affected, or how would we been have we been constructive? That's how I would measure success. And we can look back and say, hey, we made a positive impact on as many folks as we can, as many folks as we could, and did it well, then I'll have considered that successful.
Definitely, I agree. Question number 2 is what is a piece of advice you have for other business owners?
Oh man, on top of mind. Okay, we said top of mind. Top of mind. Trust your gut. Lean into your gut. A lot of times, and one of the that may that there have been times over the years, when I have, doubted my gut or doubted myself, where your gut's just telling you, man, you can't do this. You're in over your skis. You just, but what in those moments with that, when with that, what your gut is telling you is, hey, cross your T's, dot your I's, and lean into it, and go out there and make sure that you're doing the right thing, and lean into that gut feeling of you can't do this, but in a way that is constructive, if that makes sense. There's that self doubt can lead to driving you to do well, to do the right thing and to do good things, as opposed to, just giving into it and saying, I'm out. And I know it's kind of sounds conflicting because I say trust it, but it's that's the whole point of it, right? Your gut's telling you, hey, this is the right thing to do, and then sometimes your gut's telling you you're going to fail, but sometimes you're going to have to prove it right, and sometimes you're going to have to prove it wrong. And
That's
uh,
true.
it, it's but that gut feeling that tells you're in over your skis, let that drive you. Let that drive you into a space that says, I'm accomplishing my goals better than I ever thought I could.
That is huge. I love how you kind of like went into that, like thinking of like how can we think beyond? Like there's this stuck point our gut gets us to, right? And it's
Mm-hmm.
like, or it's like, oh, this isn't going like we wanted, or this is we're gonna fail. It's like, but you can counteract that and be like, okay, how can I remedy that? How can I
Yeah,
think forward beyond this? Like, what's this challenge placed in front of me, and how can I overcome it?
yeah, exactly.
Huge. And so, okay, I think, yeah, question number 3, the rapid fires, is what is a book? It could be a book you've read or a piece of content like a podcast that you've taken in that's kind of that's resonated with you recently.
Oh yeah, actually, recently I've read, How to Do the Work, It's an
Mhm.
interesting book. It has nothing to do with business, but it has everything to do with business because it's it's really about just it's a self help book. It's a self awareness book. It covers everything from generational traumas and how they've affected you to setting proper boundaries and it's an amazing book that can help you understand how you relate to people
Mm.
and that's again personal relationships, business relationships, coworkers, bosses, all those things. And it's one of those things where it helps you put your oxygen mask on first, right? So that you're able then to help the people around you. Um, and I highly recommend it to anyone. I know that that's again not a quote unquote business book, but it can be very helpful in life for sure.
Definitely. I just wrote it down. I'm going to put that on my read list for sure.
You'll
That's a
love it.
that's a good one. Final question is, um, if you could wave a magic wand and overnight improve one aspect of your business, what would it be?
That's a great question. I think uh, our, our underwriting process for taking the handicapping opportunities, handicapping assets, determining what their value is, and how we evaluate the risk associated with ownership of those assets is something we do well. While it's something we do well, I do think it is something that we can always improve upon. The more quickly and we can evaluate an opportunity, the more quickly we can help those people that brought it to us. The more quickly we can crank through more and more and buy more and more and accomplish our goals to grow. So I will say that we're always working to improve that underwriting process and that risk management process and risk assessment process, I should say. And
Mm.
yeah, if I could wave a magic wand to where we're 10 times faster than we already are, I would do that for sure. Because it's all in how many frogs you're gonna kiss.
And sometimes it's a lot.
Yeah, sometimes it's a lot.
Oh, well, that is great. Well, this has been, again, a very inspiring conversation. Before we get to the final question for today, how can people find your business and connect with you online?
Find us on LinkedIn or on our website, Tower Rock Oil and Gas, towerrockoilandgas.com. And yeah, certainly most of those emails will find their way directly to me in some way, shape, or form. So you can find me on LinkedIn if you'd like to, if you're on there. But our website, certainly shoot us a note and we'd love to see how we can work together.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much, Oscar, for sharing that. Our final question for today, what is most inspiring to you today?
What is most inspiring to me today? Day in and day out, I have a 9-year-old daughter and a 6-year-old son. And I honestly say they inspire me on a daily basis. Just watching them grow, their approach to life is very much curious, not judgmental. Just, I mean, learning and growing and resilient, working hard. I mean, all of those things. It really is inspiring, and I'm learning from as much from them as I'm teaching them. And it really is really cool to watch them mature.
That is inspiring to me. That is so sweet. And I absolutely love. Thank you for sharing this incredible episode with me today. It was great to have you on the show.
I love being with you here today, Kate. Appreciate it.